Amazon delivery for sex?
He has a destiny. Oh my god.
Ew. Does that make him gay? You're gonna eventually want a threesome again.
Let's be so for real.
Right. Oh no, maybe, shmaybe.
Welcome back, young people. We're on part 2 of 3 of our When to Leave a Relationship segment. So come on in, get a seat, get a drink, and get your notepads out because you're gonna wish you knew this sooner.
Another reason that I think you should consider leaving is if there is substance abuse, meaning the person is an alcoholic or addicted to drugs. I guess you would probably, would you know that when you meet them the first time? Probably
Not
not.
necessarily.
Yeah.
But
Or they can become during the relationship.
yeah. So usually that doesn't get any better. It gets worse. And that person has to be the person who wants to get help. Sometimes people feel as if, oh, I can help them, I can, convince them to do it, but if they don't want to change or take care of the abuse, there's nothing you can do. So I think that's one reason to step out of the relationship. Anyone else?
I think.
Yeah. Gambling addiction.
Oh yes, that too.
Sex addiction.
Porn addiction.
Yeah, there's a lot of addictions.
So any
You gotta be
form of
careful.
addiction.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I gotta ask this question. So when people say though, I'm not saying that anyone should put up with any of this.
Mm-hmm.
But my question is that I ask myself, when people are like, no one's perfect, if you're going to be married for X amount of time, you're going to deal with some stuff, you're going to go through some things.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to go through then if it's not any of these?
Deaths in the family, financial problems.
What do you mean if it's not any of these? Exactly.
There's certain things that is like, okay, we're going to go through stuff and now you're putting us through stuff.
Depression.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get help.
Because without all of that stuff, you have, as she said, finance. You have to, who's going to pay for the house? What are our bills? How can we afford what we're doing?
Kids.
You have children. The kids is our little brats.
Swinging off the
Who's
chandelier.
go- what?
Swinging off the chandelier.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man.
You have, there are lots of different problems in
You
marriage.
can't afford karate.
Dealing with the in-laws, your mother-in-law don't like you. You don't like your mother-in-law. I love my mother-in-law, but things like that, they're problems. Sickness.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you don't need people who are addicted to anything.
Mm-hmm.
And
You can try to help them through it, but there's only but so much
No,
you can do.
the
before
thing
they
is,
make
you
your whole
can't do
family.
anything unless they want to
change.
change.
Yeah.
If they don't want to change, there's nothing you can do.
But you can bring it up. You can not that you're wrong, but I'm saying there's a point where you're just like, hey, you've been drinking a little bit too much lately, like
Bombastic side-eye.
but I think that we should get you some help. And then
Because this is already in a relationship.
yeah, you gotta try a little bit to help them. Just be like you're on your own, and if you don't notice it,
The thing is, sometimes you're saying this is in a relationship. When you meet the person, they may drink. The thing is, you're not living together, so you don't see the extent of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And when you just meet them, they may drink a little bit, and then when you get to know them, that could somehow increase or get worse,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or they show you their true self.
But that's
When
what Mia
you're-
said
when you're
to
dating-
try helping them.
yeah. But if they don't, you try to help them, and if they don't want to help themselves, you go. But you gotta try.
I'm not saying not to try, but I'm saying usually it does not work.
Yeah.
If they don't want
addicts.
to.
Yeah.
Therefore,
They have to put in the work though, and they're recovered.
that's what I
addicts.
said.
Yeah.
They have to want to change, not.
But I think Mia's still saying to at least still try. You're with, like I said, you're in a relationship.
Okay.
So
Okay, so
you're not gonna abandon. That's part of
assuming
partnership.
you tried to address it already. I'm not saying you're gonna say, "Oh my God, he's drinking too much beer. Let me go." I'm not saying that.
right.
I'm saying that
It's not gonna work. You can try, but it's not gonna work. If they
I'm
don't
saying
wanna
that if you're in a relationship, you've spoken to this person or whatever, and they're not changing, go.
Yeah.
So if they have an addiction but it's not affecting your relationship,
I don't think that's possible.
oh yeah.
Like gambling.
Once it starts affecting your relationships, that's the definition of addiction. Well, part of the definition.
If they're spending money to buy whatever they gotta
well,
buy.
they can spend money, but if they take money from their responsibilities or the things that you usually do,
Yeah, in addiction, it's such an extreme
it affects.
concept.
I guess the line is it's affecting your relationships, your daily life,
Yeah.
and your financial stability.
I've dealt with someone who I think he wasn't diagnosed, but I think he was a sex addict.
Oh Lord.
You're
Oh,
nasty.
man. Yeah.
How do you know that?
Not with me. It was before me.
Oh, he would talk about it?
He didn't say he was a sex addict, but he said he had in his lifetime he had sex with over 600 people.
Oh my God.
Ew.
He has a destiny.
That is
Ew.
nasty. That's like an entire...
I think that's an addiction.
That's an addiction, yeah.
Like it's not like, oh, I'm just out on these streets. It's like
Triple
Like, I
digits?
asked
How old
him-
is he?
Yeah.
I asked him, listen, you gotta talk to
And you
people.
were dating him?
Don't.
I didn't know that from the
How old was
beginning.
he? Let's do averages.
He was older.
How much
Okay,
older?
how much older?
Let's do like 45 divided by 600.
Yeah, let's see them average here.
How much?
I think the
Wow.
average-
Well, I asked him how many people and like what's the most amount of people in a day he's had sex with. He said 4.
I beg your pardon?
And I said like different like
Together?
Okay, that's
no.
That's
A
addict.
foursome?
That's addict.
No, like different houses.
I beg your pardon?
That's addict.
Oh.
That's addict. What is he, Amazon delivery for sex? What the hell?
Ew.
So I'm just saying it's real.
And then you left him.
But to be fair,
Yeah.
no, yes, but the thing is, you gotta talk to people. Like, you're not gonna understand things without talking to people. You could be cool with someone, like, get into their mind so you know what to look for in the next person. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. There's gonna be
You don't
a
have
lot
to tie your life to someone. But I ask questions. I'm like, oh, but I think there was some deeper issues with that like caused that. But I've seen it.
Yeah.
So I say that to say to someone else, if you're dealing with someone and they tell you certain things, to take heed. He's never said he's a sex addict, but when I asked him, like I've asked him, like, have you had sex with prostitutes? He said he did have sex with one.
He did have sex with one prostitute?
Times that by
He's-
five.
I'm surprised it wasn't more than that.
He lied.
Times that by
Well, I'm just saying, like, when you see certain things, you should be like, ah.
Yeah. Like noted.
The point of this is to, like, what other people's experiences, to, like, learn from them and to be like, okay, I see this. This is red flag territory.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
it. So I wasn't saying it to shame anybody, but it's like 600 people is a lot.
That's too many lifetimes worth of bodies.
Yeah, that's a lot. So
That's insane.
That's more than.
That's a different person every day for 2 years.
Yeah,
That's too much.
that's
yeah.
their mind has to be like so numbing. Just like what? How do you value people at that point?
Or yourself.
Or
the
yourself?
sexual experience with your
Like, do you can?
partner.
Yeah.
But that's why I said I think there was something else. I think there was like
So
abuse.
I
he was
think
a
that's
recovered sex addict. He didn't have
I don't
sex.
think he was recovered.
Oh.
Oh man.
I just don't think he defined it as a sex addiction.
You can't.
And I'm not
attack your
defining it because I'm
addiction.
not a clinician, but I'm just saying. I'm like, if this ain't a sex addict, I don't know what it is.
And you
I agree.
can't attack it until you admit it.
That's the hardest part. Admitting it.
If you're in denial, you'll always be a sex addict.
How long ago was this person?
We'll talk about it later.
Okay, because I was gonna say his body count's probably like 700.
And we do averages.
Yeah.
That's probably
That's not
high.
that much. 100.
It was
Yeah, per year, because I don't know when he started having sex.
Yeah.
What is that? You want to guess?
I mean, maybe it's like 50 a year.
And
Oh
when
my
did he
God.
tell you this? Like when you first started going out, or you've been with him for a little bit?
A little bit.
Oh.
It was like that conversation came up.
Like your body count?
Yeah. You gotta ask the uncomfortable questions.
Absolutely.
Because
You don't have
You
to ask the body.
count?
I would
That's
But
say.
that's why people usually don't. But it was just like, oh well, what it like if you feel like sharing. At the end of the day, let's okay. I I feel like a lot of people also are not honest because people are like so judgy. I'm still not saying you have to align your life with someone, but people need to ask questions. At the end of the day, you need to ask questions. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you have to get comfortable with being a little
Yes.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
And people could lie,
yeah,
but people be I'm telling you, a lot
They'll
of
tell you the truth.
They'll
somewhere
tell
else.
tell you the truth,
Yeah.
thinking that you won't care, but
yeah. Or
okay.
thinking that you're joking or they're joking. No, I would never tell anyone I had sex with 600 people as a joke. That's weird.
That's very weird. What's the
You know what I mean? Yeah, like I would never say that. But sorry, you were saying?
I was saying, as a girl, don't answer that
Just
question.
a girl.
Someone said the answer is always 3. That's what she
I
said.
saw something
You know-
that said the number is 4.
What do you think about this? You don't ask what's your body count, but you ask do you have a high body count, yes or no.
But high is relative.
Yeah. it
But
is.
then if they ask, then
Like
you
what
give the
time
number
you
that
get.
you think it is. Like higher, like over under.
What
about that?
I'm not
What do you
answering
mean by
question, personally.
Like, so it'd be like, what's your body count? And like, what do you mean? It'd be like over under like 20.
Some people may think 20 is high.
Well, they can say well, yeah, maybe.
Or you could give them an over-under. Is it over-under 20?
Yeah, over 20.
Not
Like,
even
if
like,
you
is
really
it
want
high?
to know,
No,
Is it
it's
over-
always too
Oh.
much for a guy.
It is.
It's always too much for a guy. I had a boyfriend when I was in college, and I had 2 boyfriends in high school, and I was like, oh, I've been with 2 other people, and he was just like, ew, that's too much. And I was like, they were my whole boyfriends, like exclusive relationship, and he was just like, I thought like you were like the virgin type.
I agree.
And I was like,
Ew.
you know, I wasn't promiscuous,
Right.
but like,
I mean, I think to me the more important question is, are you STD free? Because at the end of the day, you won't really know. You don't know how many people, like I said, people like, oh, just tell them 3. You won't really know the number. So I think it's more important to be like, how often do you get tested? When's the last time you were tested? What were the results?
Show me your results.
Show me your results.
show me the results.
What test did you get? Did you get HIV? Like I said, any of the viruses you can't get rid of. Hepatitis, HIV.
And you can't test men
Herpes.
for HPV.
So for me, I think that's the better question. When was the last time you were tested? What were the results? Have you had unprotected sex since? You know, some people don't think that oral sex is sex. I'm like, anything you can get a sexually transmitted disease is sex.
Yep, that's true.
Also, their behavior now. Like, you can ask them You can ask them. I just don't like the body number count. I think that's just a me thing. I don't like the
No, I
number.
think a lot of people are like that.
But you can ask them certain questions like, oh, you know, like, have you ever had a one-night stand? Have you ever, you know, you can ask them like, when's the last time you had sex?
That's a good question.
And like, were y'all together or was it just casual? And you can ask questions to see how they use their body. Like, some people will have sex when they're in relationships exclusively, and you'll know just by conversation. And you can tell when somebody goes out to a bar and has sex every once in a while, or because they'll be able to tell you in their conversation. So it's not about the number, it's about like the behavior.
Your behavior.
I think the behavior is more important than the number.
I think that's subjective still.
Because if you have that type of
It's a little
behavior,
bit.
you're gonna have a high number.
Cause
Yeah, I think
I mean, if you always go home alone, that's one thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it gets judgmental too.
I think it's subjective. Is what if they were like that, but they stopped before you? Like, what if they're like, yeah, I used to have a couple threesomes here and there, but I haven't had a threesome in 5 years. So like, what is that? What does that information mean to you?
I feel like if you try to threesome once, that's
Well, they're like,
fine.
I liked it. I was single.
But I feel like if you had a threesome like mad times, you're gonna eventually want a threesome again.
Or not. Maybe they got it out their system.
Maybe, shmaybe.
I'm just saying. So, do you believe once a cheater, always a cheater?
Do you believe that if a guy tries
I was
to
like,
have
move on, yes.
sex with another guy once is
What?
much different than if he did
She
it
just said
5 times?
He was gay.
Okay, that came up in Insecure. In the show Insecure, that was a
Because
time.
Yes,
different, so
that
how
is
many-
different. That is different.
Cause
So
one of them is
That's very different.
If a guy has a sexual experience with another man, does that make him gay?
I think the answer is no.
Well, what if they? I
And
think
he
the answer's
didn't like
no.
it,
I
sorry.
think
But
the
if he
answer's
didn't
no.
He did it one time. He
Oh.
didn't like it. He didn't do it again.
No,
Sorry.
it's not.
That's
No,
no.
it's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But if he did
I
it
didn't
5
say people.
times 5 years ago, he's gay.
I agree.
Yeah.
If you liked it, you're gay.
What if he was like, what if
But
he was like,
sexuality is a spectrum.
right, what if he was like, I tried it
Yes,
once, I
but
wasn't
not in
sure,
your
I tried
life.
it again, I wasn't sure still, so
No.
I tried it again.
No.
I wasn't sure.
Not how it works. Not how it works.
I wasn't
Okay,
sure.
can he be
Maybe this
bisexual?
time.
Can he be bisexual?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Be
probably.
bisexual.
Anyway, we mentioned
Sexuality is
abuse.
I feel.
Danny said.
Ooh,
Ask the right questions.
Well, I guess it's
I'm saying you
addiction.
gotta ask.
Addiction.
You gotta ask questions that you even
Anyway.
think. Like when I asked that prostitute question, I wasn't surprised he said yes, but I was like, I don't know. I gotta ask.
You gotta.
You gotta ask. Have you ever had a sexual experience with a man? You gotta ask that.
You know, somebody was talking to me and they were like, saying how. Alright, they were like, oh, you know, me and you always vibed. I always thought that like me and you could like be a thing, yada yada yada.
A
And I
woman?
was like, it was a guy.
Oh.
And I was like,
Okay. Yeah.
no.
Oh. Okay. Sorry.
He was kind of shooting his shot,
Okay. Okay.
but in my head I was just like, a vibe don't mean nothing. You gotta ask questions. So I was just adding on to what you guys were saying, because it's not about, oh, we vibing. You could vibe with 1,000 people. You can have chemistry with 1,000 people. You gotta ask them questions. How do you fight? How do you act when you're mad? What is cheating to you? What is cheating? Is cheating texting your ex, or is cheating sleeping over a girl's house without me knowing, or sleeping over a man's house without me knowing? Or do I have to actually have sex in order for you?
And does oral sex count?
And
you gotta ask
exactly.
the
You,
question.
because, and you think it's obvious?
No.
And yeah, because some people think dancing is like, you don't want you dancing on other people at a
Or
party.
you can dance, just no front dancing, but back dance is okay. I'm
Yeah.
serious. I'm serious.
She didn't know about that one either. I don't think.
Front dancing or back? Oh, like grind.
Like you can do a little whine. They say not longer than a song. Like people are mad specific with certain things.
I don't know.
They're like,
You do
oh,
it
or you
once.
could dance. You can't pick them up. I'm gonna say, I saw something the other day.
That's a lot, but that's legitimate because a wine is a wine. If you pick them up and you put them on your shoulders,
I know.
now you're wilding.
That's too much. So
Yeah,
that's what the consensus is. Don't do too much. And what is doing too much are front line, picking them up, y'all on the ground. all
3
that
songs
stuff.
in a row.
Right.
2 songs.
But what the-
One song you done.
I say
We
two
want
songs.
time.
I
You
say
think
2
songs? Nah. You
No,
you can
one.
watch your
I
girl
say
dance with
dancing
another
is
guy for 2
cheating.
songs.
No, I said 2 songs is too much. That's what I said.
2 songs is
Is it
for
two
me,
full
too.
songs or
Cause like-
two? Because you know the DJs,
Cause
they don't play the
two
whole
songs-
song.
If the DJ
2
chops
songs
it.
is beginning and end.
Okay, 2 songs beginning and end.
2 songs.
But what if it's not beginning and end?
What if
No,
it's
but I'm
like a
saying
chorus and then a
inherently
hook and a
it's
chorus?
beginning and
That's one song.
No,
Right?
Inherently, it's beginning and end because one song has to end in order for it to be.
You
a second.
got
No, we're
4
saying
minutes.
blended.
That's it.
The DJ.
DJ mixes them together.
Yes.
It's like, what?
Okay,
No.
that's
DJs rarely play a
That's-
song from beginning to end, though. Is what
Right.
I'm saying.
Right.
I'm
Okay.
saying
So
you
what's
got
a song?
4 minutes.
when it switches
Okay.
songs.
Yeah.
What the
I'm
songs
gonna
like
say,
top
I'm gonna
5?
say dancing is cheating. That's what I'm saying.
You really think that?
I wouldn't. I don't know.
Jimmy doesn't dance though. Also,
That's true. I don't dance.
so it depends.
I
on the
wouldn't
person.
dance on a guy.
You think dancing is
What if it was a little dance like this though?
Dancing.
I wouldn't.
It depends on the song.
You
too.
wouldn't?
I would not dance with another
What if
guy.
I was in.
What if
she
it's a
said she
Cupid
wouldn't have
shuffle?
danced with
No,
her?
okay, hear me
Her
out.
guys
Joni
there.
barely
Let me.
dances on
Why
her
would
own.
No,
you
she
dance
said
with
no.
her?
No, I'm not saying if her guy is there.
Oh.
I'm saying you're out with your girls. I was in Tulum. I was out with people, and this guy I was dancing. And this guy came up and was no body contact. He was spinning me around like we were just dancing.
Oh, like
That's
a
what I'm
salsa.
saying, like that.
Fun, I guess.
Like a
But
salsa.
that's
Or
isn't
like
that
a
dancing?
wine, like a wine.
It's
is
saying
like
a wine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you would dance if a guy was just like, oh hey, you know.
Yeah, but probably not. But
Oh, okay.
If it's a salsa, you
Like-
still get 1 song.
yeah, like maybe
4
if it
minutes.
was that situation, like what you were saying on vacation, whatever, maybe. But I don't know. I still like I don't dance like that, so I would feel uncomfortable.
Really?
Yeah,
If a guy was like, just twirling you around.
She has a boyfriend.
yeah, I'd be like no. And then
Joni might be like no, even if she was
Like,
single.
maybe that's why
Yeah.
I'm single. Because I was like, doop, doop, doop. It was no bodily contact. It was just having fun.
I don't know. I'm just like more. Maybe I'm more awkward than.
I feel like it depends on how you're
so
dancing.
I feel like
It was we were not touching.
Yeah,
We'd
that's
only
fine.
grab hands. He would spin me around.
As a
and that was
man,
it.
I think the way you're describing it, I wouldn't mind.
No, I
For
wouldn't
one
mind that
song.
either.
For one song.
Well, no, it's different because
What
a man
about the
would have to.
grinding thing as a
Well, he
guy?
can't flex. He didn't
no.
come back.
He said his girl can't grind out nobody
Hell
for
no.
one song.
My opinion, no.
Okay,
No
does
wine.
it matter
There
if
is no
you're
wine.
there or if you're not there? So if she's on a girls' night out,
It's worse.
If you're there,
If
I agree.
you're-
No.
if you're there, hell no, right?
Hell
But
no.
if she's at a girls' night out and she dances one guy for a minute and then
Two
leaves,
songs. Yeah.
Is
She leaves
is
and
she
then
buying
comes
him,
back.
Is he buying her drinks?
No.
the thing with that.
Wait,
is-
Wait,
comes
wait,
back.
I want to know his answer. But what if he's buying her and all her girls drinks?
If they're
Well,
buying
what
her
if-
drinks,
and
That's too much.
Yeah, there's a lot of
It's
My
a-
thing
Okay,
is,
he's
it's a
not
slippery
buying
slope.
her
never hears
It's just a dance. He didn't buy her
Then
drinks. She
wouldn't
doesn't
go
talk
back
to him
and
after
tell
the
him
dance.
She's
so
whining.
like dance with the guy and you go
She
back.
might.
You can say no.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay, he said hell no.
So wait, he can't buy
I'm not gonna be
drinks?
mad. I'm not. I think the first time it happens, I'm not.
He
gonna be
said
mad
even
at her.
without drinks, no.
I think the first time,
A wine or just dancing? No, you
A
said
wine.
it. Oh, okay,
Wine.
okay.
I'm not gonna be angry at her. I'm just gonna be. I'm gonna confront it. But if it happens again, I'm gonna be pretty mad.
Okay, that's fair. If we have discussed it and we have agreed that this will not
Like-
happen again,
Like
and
if
it
she,
happens again, absolutely.
yeah, like if she whined and then I knew, I'll be like, okay, I'm just gonna say I don't want. Are you doing this? I'm not mad, but just don't do it
I don't
again.
like that.
But then if she does it again, I'm gonna be mad.
Makes
Okay.
you just say you don't like it. It makes me feel uncomfortable.
It makes me feel uncomfortable. Don't do it again.
Because my thing is, I wouldn't want my man doing that.
Yeah.
But men are a little different because men, oh no, girls could approach.
Well-
because men are usually the approachers.
Yeah.
So I would be uncomfortable if my man is going out and he's going
Yeah,
to find a
because now
girl
you're
to dance
pursuing
with.
somebody else.
Yeah, that's different. But women, I mean,
Also, I feel like there's a big difference between butt and men genital, right? Cause like, because you're dancing essentially on his crotch.
yeah.
Yeah, it's.
And it's his crotch. So like it's a girl dancing on your crotch. Whereas I guess a butt is still like a guy don't like you don't want to see your girl get like her butt slapped or anything. But it's not like but it's not like it's not the same. You know, he's not rubbing on my crotch. He's not rubbing my
But your
nipples.
butt, he could go in your butt.
Okay.
Let's be so for real. He could.
It's true. It's true. I take
Okay,
it
we
back. I
need
take
to-
it back.
Okay, mommy, bring it back. Okay, bring it back.
Wait, you guys got to give
Let's-
boundaries too, because mommy has her boundaries. I want to hear boundaries from you.
In a
I want to hear
relationship?
boundaries from Glenn.
Okay, go ahead. You want to go?
You go first.
No communication with your exes.
Not even happy birthday.
Why?
I'm just asking.
If you have children.
I don't want to date no one with kids. I have in the past, and it did not go well.
Okay, but what about our viewers who are dating people with kids?
I can't help y'all. I'm not, and that came
Okay,
out
if you're dating
shady.
people with kids.
Hold on, what can I finish?
You say you can't help them.
No, I was saying I just wanted to clean it up. It came out shady, but I have experienced someone who allegedly was separated from their ex for years.
Mm-hmm.
Recently telling their ex that they missed them.
Gotcha.
So I can't. I think that a lot of people, and I hear this from people who have kids, exes, they still have access. You know, and when you have kids, you can't be like, oh, why are you talking to your ex? Because they have kids. So unless you have proof that something inappropriate is going on, you kind of just gotta let things, the chips fall where they may. But I don't like it.
Never.
I don't like it. That's me. I don't have kids, so I can say that.
We all don't like it.
Yeah. Go ahead, mommy.
Wow.
Oh no!
I was
no,
saying
it's-
if they
Oh, yeah, you were gonna give it back.
exes,
Mm-hmm.
you don't really have to call your ex and tell them happy birthday or anything like that. You don't.
The communication needs to be minimal.
And it depends on the age of the kids. If the kids are older, the ex should only communicate with the kids.
If the kid has a cell phone, they don't really need to communicate with the ex.
No.
If you want to see your kid, hey, you know, when are you free or whatever, the kid knows. Usually, if they have a cell phone, they usually know what's going on. Maybe you need to coordinate time of, hey, I'm gonna stop by at this time.
What age are you talking about?
Teenagers.
The age of a cell phone.
Yeah, the age of a cell phone.
Okay.
That could be 10.
As soon as you have a cell phone.
Teenagers is 10.
Sorry, the age of a cell phone. And I'm saying that could be 10. Yes. I was like, I have failed you.
And before that, the communication is strictly.
It don't be that
kids.
though. It does not be that. It don't be that. Yeah, I know that's incorrect. It don't be that.
It should be.
It should.
That
but
should
not.
be your boundary. And it should be strictly about kids and only when necessary.
How you gonna know though?
You don't know, but that's your bound. But you said
But
that
you won't know
boundary.
if you don't know if it's broken or not though. Boundaries. There's only an issue when you know it's broken.
I mean, you can't go looking for
You sure can.
trouble all the time.
Oh.
Well, not necessarily.
I
Okay,
mean
so there's
trouble.
no dirt. Okay, you can't go. They say you can't go looking for dirt, and I don't like that because if there's no dirt to be found, then the dirt
Period.
won't be found.
That's it.
But at the same time, you can't play FBI with your partner. You're supposed to trust your partner.
Correct. I agree.
So eventually, what's in darkness will come to light, and
Absolutely.
she's gonna call talking about yada yada yada, and or he's gonna call the baby daddy is talking about yada yada yada, and if the female or the male does not set proper boundaries when they do call in front of you and say, hey, you know you're not supposed to be da 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 da, then you know that they've been allowing this.
Trying to be sneaky.
Or when they know certain things about the person, it's like, how do you know that?
So how's your new car?
Yeah.
Or like something like that.
Yeah. Like there's certain, or I wouldn't even say a car because maybe it came up because like, oh, the kid said, oh, mommy got a new car, whatever. Daddy got a new car.
So don't ask me about the car still. It's not about the kids. How's your new car? I got a man.
Or like a trip. Like, oh, I don't know.
A trip?
How's your new car?
Or like, oh, how was your trip? Who cares?
I think though that exes should have, although I don't have that, a healthy relationship when it comes to the kids in the sense of communicating about what's going on with the kids. Because sometimes when kids realize that their parents don't have a communication line, they can easily manipulate certain situations. Because the mother and the father are not talking. It can happen. The mother, in relationships, the exes shouldn't be calling each other happy birthday, nothing like that. But when it comes to the kids, they should be able to speak to each other when it comes to what's going on with the kids. Not just cut off communication 100%.
Okay, what if you were in a relationship with somebody for a significant period of time, and now you're in a new relationship and you find out that your ex was diagnosed with cancer? Is it right to call them and say, hey, I heard the news, I hope everything's okay?
You know it's not okay. They have cancer.
Is wishing them well bad and then
Pray
they're
for
calling
them. Add them to your prayers. Because I just feel like at the end of the day, you guys are not together. And if we're not together for a reason, and presumably you have some type of family or you have somebody else, and it's like that's your village. I'm no longer your village. We are not together for whatever reason. I just feel like it opens up the door, especially if you're in a new relationship. Now, if y'all are both single, sure. But we're talking about people in relationships. I am your partner and I care about you and your well-being. If I hear that, damn, I'm going to pray because I don't wish harm on anybody. But to reach out, what am I going to do? I'm now going to be coming over your house. Like, what are you going to offer them?
Yeah.
Like, I just always think about, like, what are you really going to do? To say a text to say, hey, I do think people say that, oh, I hope you're well. You know I'm not well. Or my condolences. What is that really going to do for that person? Unless there's some type of feeling. I think it's just a way back. Someone who I dated in high school, I don't care that okay, thank you.
But not high school. Like, say you broke up with someone 2 years ago and you were together with them for 8 years. Right?
I think about that with an ex. Like, if I heard, y'all know who I'm thinking about. Like, if I heard but I wouldn't hear something happened. I probably wouldn't hear.
But your moms know each other or something. Like, say you did.
But that's kind of like, in a way, I hear your point, Denny, and you're right, because I feel for you to pick up the phone and say that's like a way to. I mean, you're not 100% over that person.
Yeah.
Pray for them.
You pray
You're
for them
kinda
on your
like,
own time.
Oh well, I heard that you're sick. Oh, I'm sorry. No, leave that man alone.
Because it's just like, what are you
Leave
gonna
that woman
do?
alone.
What's the next step? Just to reach out and say that?
Yeah.
Pray for them.
You're not paying for their hospital bills.
You're not coming to visit them. You're not on the meal train. You're not. No, that just opens the. If you are going to step in and start doing stuff, and you're in a new relationship, I'm not comfortable with that.
Yeah, that's relationship
Because
responsibility.
now again, family. Oh, his mom, who I haven't seen in forever. Oh my God, now she's emotional. Y'all are both emotional because he's sick. And no. For me, sorry, I'm passionate about that.
Okay, so you just gave your boundary, Denny? Or
Yes,
that was Joni?
F them exes. Y'all
Yeah.
either broken up or
yeah.
no.
Don't contact your ex. Thanks for tuning into part 2. We just have one more part, and this time we'll be talking about some of our more personal and preferential boundaries, and it gets juicy. So don't miss out, because it drops next week.